Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Boom Beach video. I am here on my level 73 account. Now I haven't made a video where I just boost up everything and clear my map and get an upgrade done. So that's what we're gonna do today. Get at least one cannon done, hopefully two. We're still making that push. Level 74 is possible, so that's what we're pushing for. We'll load up warriors here. Yeah, we can see most of the top players have level 74. So that's kind of what the grind will lead us to. But in the meantime, we are here on this 73 account, pushing it still to 74. We'll boost up our Power Stone chance. I think that's all we'll boost up. I think that's a good thing to boost up. Always will boost up that in resource reward. Even if I do a few attacks for the 2 weeks, which is pretty common, I don't typically play Boom Beach outside of these videos only because I don't have a ton of time. I'll log in maybe a couple times a day, maybe just do an attack or so, move on. But really, I like doing a bunch of attacks at once when I'm boosted up. There's really no point in me going on and attacking a base, getting a bunch of loot, and then, dang, this guy destroyed me. Getting a bunch of loot and then losing it, or not being boosted up with resource reward. So instead, I'd rather just wait for a video and then boost it up on video, because I don't have infinite power powder as much as it might seem. Okay, this is gonna be a tough day, and I think I'm gonna load up Bombardiers, heavy Bombardiers. It's honestly gonna be a tough couple days. We're day 9 out of 14, I think, of the tribe boosts, and the reason I failed last time is because a lot of these players will have their core boosted up with the tribe boost. So there was an HQ health boost, which really sucks for warrior users like myself. So I'm just gonna default to the best combination in the game, the Bombardier heavy combination. Bombardier rifleman is probably better, but I like Bombardier heavies more. Gosh, so it should be, I mean, we'll be fine, but it just sucks for players that have boosted up that tribe, and then in addition they have ice statues. That's just the perfect storm. We're just not going to be able to defeat that. I mean, we could, but it will be pretty hard. Like, we can see the core going down. Bombardiers just deal an unreal amount of damage, and that's why they're one of the best troops in the game. If not, I would say they're the best troop in the game. There's really nothing that can compare with the Bombardiers, except the other best troop in the game, the Melon Bombardiers, which are actually better than the regular Bombardiers, but that's more of a proto troop that comes out pretty infrequently, so I don't know if we can count that towards this. Okay, this guy has no loot. We'll find a new opponent. I really want to try to get better about that. I scout a player, and I don't want you guys to think, oh, Christian can't defeat that player, he's finding a new opponent. That's definitely the case some of the time, but the majority of the time I find a new opponent is, this guy just doesn't have a lot of loot, or I think I can roll a better opponent with more loot going forward. I mean, there are times when everyone on my map has low loot after a big update, so I'm not gonna really re-roll because I don't think I can get a player with more loot. Even if it's more like an average player. So that's kind of the thought process. There's definitely times though when I see a player that has an average amount of loot and a really, really tough base, and then I find a new opponent because it's just not worth attacking someone that doesn't have a lot of loot that is too good. So that's my thought process, and that's kind of what I go through. This sucks. This guy has multiple doom cannons. This is a pretty good anti-Bombardier heavy base, and I hope I can do it, but who knows, we'll see. I'm just shocking a bunch of everything right now, getting some critters down to help. We'll take down the rocket launcher on the right hand side. The critters are distracting the doom cannon over there. Yeah, this sucks. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to win. I kind of think I'll still win, but just unreal. That was a waste of an artillery. Unreal, like how good multiple doom cannons is. I mean, this guy took me down a lot. Not the best anti-Bombardier base, but pretty good for someone who only has 2 ice. Granted, it could have been better. Like, if there was 1 Doom Cannon behind the core, I would have gotten fried. There's no way I would have won. But because he didn't have that, we were able to pull out the win. That guy had an unreal amount of loot. That is why we find new opponents. That is insane. That's probably the most amount of loot we'll find today. This guy also has a pretty good amount of loot. I would say this is more like the average player, 150,000 of each, which is really good for me because when you have on top of that like a 200% resource reward boost, you're gonna crush it. You're gonna get a lot of loot. That's why I recommend resource reward to everyone. It's because you can do a quarter of the attacks to get the same amount of loot. It's so good. It's so good. And you guys have heard me talk about that plenty of times, so I'm not going to talk about that today, but I'm glad that we got that moving. Okay. This month in January brings out a bunch of cool stuff. I don't have the list in front of me, but I have to say it's probably one of the better months. We've already seen a troop we haven't seen in a while, Dr. Vitamin, and there's other stuff that's going to be coming out as well that looks really cool. I mean, we're getting something kind of new and interesting every week, it seems like, sometimes multiple times a week. So I'm hyped. I'm super hyped. It's going to be a very fun month in January. And also, another thing that makes it more fun is it is my birthday. So there's that going for me. And I'm turning 22. I'm turning 22. Pretty boring birthday, if you ask me, though. Okay. Level 73. I have no clue what I'm going to name this video. It's pretty much me doing what I always do. It's just going on the boring part of Boom Beach. Just logging on and doing these grindy attacks of me clearing my map. I mean, it's fun, and it needs to get done. We have to get that maxed out base back. But it's taking a while. It's taking a lot longer than I expected. I mean, when did HQ 25 drop? I want to say it was about 6 months ago. So we've probably been struggling with HQ 25 upgrades for that long. I don't have upgrades always going. You guys know that. You've seen me log on and there's nothing going. The only time I really had upgrades pretty much always going is when I was doing this type of video every other day. So Jimmy and I typically alternate videos. I'll make a video one day, Jimmy will make a video the next, and in between that time, upgrades take a day and a half to 2 days to finish. So that's a perfect amount of time, and then if I'm logging on again in a video, boosting up everything, able to get 2 more big upgrades done if I have 2 builders, but typically I'm just able to get enough loot for 1, then I will start that up, and then it will lead me to the next video. So when I'm in that process, in that cycle of just grinding, I'm getting upgrades done, but as soon as I deviate, it takes me a while to get back into it. For example, the other day, Dr. Vitamin came out. I had to make a Dr. Vitamin video, but I can't farm up enough loot in a video. I really should have played on my own afterward to just grind up the loot, but that's how it goes sometimes. That player had an unreal amount of loot as well. This is crazy. When this update first dropped, there was pretty much no stone anywhere, and now everyone is coveting the iron. And it's interesting to me that that's how I'm feeling, because the majority of players I'm coming up against are players that should be getting or should be needing gold. I mean, the type of upgrades they're doing are not the same as mine. They're not trying to upgrade their cannons and sniper towers and that sort of thing. They're trying to upgrade their, hopefully their offense, but just defenses as a whole. So it's interesting to me that I'm seeing just the lack of iron in the community right now, at least where I'm at in metals. Maybe if I push up more, I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe if I drop down more, I'll start seeing more iron. I don't know. Anyway, level 72 drops. I think we'll get enough loot from this to start an upgrade. This player only had like 60,000 iron, which is very, very bad, but that turns into 220,000 iron for me. So let's look at my upgrades here, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6 cannons upgraded. We need 400,000. Let's do one more attack. That guy sucks. We'll find a new opponent. I really need iron. Oh, frick. I thought that said 77,000, not 170,000. But this is what I'm talking about. I rolled, took the risk. Not like it really was a risk, but was able to get a player with about 20,000 more iron. And when you factor on my resource reward on top of that, that is a very good amount. That's probably 50,000, 75,000 more iron just by rolling, which isn't a ton, but it's more than I would have had. Okay. This is going very well. I'm kind of glad I switched it up, brought in the Bombardiers, because a lot of these players have very good anti-warrior base designs. Like this base here would have been very tough to attack with warriors, and on top of this, I think he probably had the HQ boost, health boost, why not? So if he did, this base probably would have been close to impossible for me on boosted, probably impossible. The mine placement is just so good to attack this base with warriors, but other troops can just wreck it because you can't really counter a smoky attack and a regular attack with the same base design. But there we go. That is enough loot to gym this up, or not gym it up, but to start this upgrade. A day and 17 hours. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like. As always, let's just convert our gold because we have no use for it. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.